For many people, the fall of the Roman Empire feels like a single dramatic moment, a date in a textbook, a collapse, an ending. But history rarely works that way. The Roman Empire did not fall overnight. It did not suddenly collapse under the weight of one invasion or one bad emperor. What happened instead was far slower, far more complex, and far more revealing about how civilizations actually change. To understand this, we have to stop thinking in terms of a carved fall and start thinking in terms of a long transformation. By the 2nd century AD, the Roman Empire was at its territorial peak. It stretched from Britain to North Africa, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Near East. Its roads, cities, laws, and institutions shaped daily life for tens of millions of people. Yet even at this height, cracks were already forming, not dramatic ones, but structural ones. The Roman state relied on constant expansion for wealth. New territories meant new taxes, new slaves, and new resources. When expansion slowed, the entire economic model began to strain. One of the first long-term problems was political instability. Roman emperors were rarely chosen peacefully. Many rose to power through military support, coups, or civil wars. Between the 3rd and 5th centuries, emperors came and went at an alarming pace. Some ruled for years, others for months, a few for mere weeks. This constant turnover weakened central authority and forced emperors to focus on short-term survival rather than long-term governance. At the same time, the Roman economy was under pressure. Maintaining a massive army was expensive. Defending thousands of kilometers of borders required enormous resources. To meet these demands, the state increased taxation and debased its currency. Coins contained less silver, inflation rose, trust in the monetary system declined. For ordinary Romans, this meant higher taxes, fewer opportunities, and growing inequality between elites and common citizens. Military challenges also evolved. Rome had once relied on citizen soldiers loyal to the state. Over time, recruitment shifted toward professional soldiers and foreign mercenaries. This was not inherently disastrous. Many served Rome loyally, but it reflected a deeper change. The army became less connected to Roman civic identity and more influenced by regional interests and commanders. Meanwhile, external pressures increased. Groups along Rome's borders, Goths, Vandals, Franks, and others, were not simply barbarians invading. They were complex societies reacting to migration, climate shifts, and pressure from other groups moving westward. Many initially sought land, trade, or protection within the Roman system. Environmental factors also played a role. Recent climate research suggests periods of cooling and instability during late antiquity. Poor harvests meant food shortages. Plagues reduced population and labor. The Antonine Plague and later outbreaks severely weakened Roman demographics, especially in cities and military units. Less population meant fewer taxpayers and fewer soldiers, further stressing the system. By the 4th and 5th centuries, the Roman world was changing fundamentally. Administrative power shifted eastward, where cities were wealthier and more defensible. The Eastern Roman Empire, later called the Byzantine Empire, continued for nearly 1,000 years after the West declined. This alone challenges the idea of a sudden fall. What collapsed in the West was not Roman civilization itself, but a particular political structure. Roman law, language, infrastructure, and culture continued, adapted by new rulers and societies. When Rome was sacked in 410 AD, it shocked contemporaries, but it did not end the Roman world. Even the deposition of the last Western emperor in 476 AD was less dramatic than later historians made it seem. Life went on. Institutions changed hands. Roman identity slowly evolved rather than vanished. So why does the myth of a sudden fall persist? Partly because humans prefer clean endings. Dates are easier than processes. Stories are easier than systems. But history teaches us something more valuable when we resist that simplicity. The Roman Empire did not fall. It transformed. And in that transformation, we see how political instability, economic pressure, environmental stress, and social change can reshape even the most powerful civilizations, not in a single moment, but over generations. That is the real lesson Rome leaves behind.